Hello, today we're making duck with red cabbage and potato pancakes. For this we need red cabbage, oranges, pepper, salt, bay leaf, allspice, juniper, lingonberries, orange juice, red wine, twine, sugar, cinnamon bark or cinnamon stick. Soup vegetables, onions, oil, potatoes, apples, a duck, mugwort, eggs, and nutmeg. I put on gloves to cut the red cabbage because it stains very strongly. The red cabbage needs to marinate overnight in a mixture of various spices, red wine, and oranges. For this, we cut the red cabbage by slicing the head in half down the middle. Then we quarter it. I'm cutting the red cabbage here on the whiteboard so my wooden board doesn't get stained by the color. It's best to use a plastic board to cut red cabbage. Now we'll generously cut out the core in the back here. It's better to cut out a bit more than too little, since tough leaf veins don't taste good. Even after cooking, they're still tougher than the leaves. That's it for... Yes? And now we take half of such a quarter. Let's just split it like this. And we'll just cut it down like this. And thin slices. Next, we'll add our orange fillets. You cut fillets from the orange by slicing off the front and back. And then, using the knife in a curved motion, cut around the outside and remove all the white part, but as little of the flesh as possible, all the way to the bottom. Now we take the orange, and it always has these white veins here, so to speak. We run the knife along one of the veins and then slide the knife upwards like this. And then an orange segment comes loose. Let's do that right now. Okay. Now we have the orange segments inside. Now we add regiment to it. About half a teaspoon, roughly. 2 bay leaves. A bit of juniper, not too much. I have a piece of cinnamon bark here, but you can use a cinnamon stick instead, which is great because it's easy to remove later. Then we add salt and pepper. Be generous, that's a good amount. Now add a little bit of sugar. And the orange juice. And red wine. And the cranberries. Last but not least. Now mix everything together. Use your hands for better results. You see, it's really soaking in a brine from our marinade now, but that's a good thing. That's exactly how it should be. Go ahead and massage a bit of the liquid into the red cabbage, back into the red cabbage. And then we cover it with some plastic wrap. And then it goes into the fridge for a night, so it needs to marinate for a day, and tomorrow you can cook it. Now we'll cut the apples and onions for the duck. For that, we quarter the apples and then just cut out the core at a slight angle like this. And now we just quarter the quarters again. Let's put the quarters here into the bowl. We'll do the same with the onions. And now we'll add them to the apples. Now we'll add the mugwort. You can buy it dried. Just crumble up 2 sprigs like this. It's a very typical duck flavor. That's enough. And now we'll mix it all together nicely. Then we'll stuff the duck. I'll just place it here so I can stuff it easily. Push out the edge here. You can remove some of the fat here. Just tear a bit off here and here at the same time. Now we'll season the duck generously with salt and pepper on the inside. Now we'll add the stuffing. Now we can tie up the duck. For that, we'll lay it out on the spread. We'll quickly cut off this end piece here at the back, right through here. You can throw that away. Sometimes it tastes a bit bitter. Now we'll take a piece of string. Please make sure it's not string coated with plastic, otherwise it'll be a bit unpleasant for us later in the yard. Now we'll tie it securely at the top. Then we'll take the wings. We'll make a small cut on the wings. And cut off the tip of the wing. This makes them easier to tie up neatly, and there's little meat on them. And now we take half of the string. Underneath here, past the thighs. And back here, just make a tight knot now. Like this. And now let's cut off the threads. Now take a leftover thread and tie the 2 legs together up here with a thread. Just a little bit. Then none of the filling can come out while frying. Exactly. That way it's wonderfully held together. Now we'll season the duck generously with salt on the outside. I don't really like to put pepper on it now because later we'll be cooking at a very high temperature and the pepper on the outside will burn, then we'll end up with all these black spots on the outside. Add some salt to the other side too. I'll put it on here again. Now we'll cut what's called mirepoix, which consists of carrots, leeks, celery and onions. That gives our duck sauce a great flavor. I'll thinly peel the celery for that. Since we're only using this for the sauce and not eating it, it doesn't matter how you cut it, just chop it into small pieces. I've already washed the carrots and leek. I don't need to peel them since we won't eat the carrots. The peel adds flavor, so it's fine to leave it on. Just cut them into pieces, those pieces as well. And dice the onions. Preheat the oven to 160 degrees C with convection or 180 degrees with top and bottom heat. Now let's heat up the roasting pan and we'll add our vegetables right away. Meanwhile, we can peel the potatoes. Here I used a waxy potato and made sure to pick out larger ones at the vegetable market. Let's add some oil to the roasting pan. And add our short crust pastry. Meurbord just means roasted vegetables. That's just the French term for it. Now we've sauteed it nicely until it's got a beautiful color. Now we'll add a bit of tomato paste. We also need to saute it briefly because of the high acidity. Once it has sauteed briefly, then we'll deglaze it with our leftover red wine and a good splash of water. Now I have this roasting pan here and I'm going to use it for something else. Normally it's used for blanching. You can put vegetables on it and then lift them out more easily later. Now I'm turning it over and putting it into the sauce here. There's a reason for this. I don't want the duck to sit in the sauce, but rather for the duck to rest on this hot rack. But the juices from the duck still run into our sauce. If you don't have something like this at home, you can easily do it by placing your roasting pan on a rack or a baking sheet at the bottom. Put an oven rack on top of that and then place the duck on the oven rack. This allows heat to reach the duck evenly while juices drip into the roasting pan. Now we put our duck in the oven for about an hour and 10 minutes. Then we can also go ahead and heat up or cook the red cabbage, which we already prepared and marinated yesterday. And then both things will be ready at about the same time. But at the end, we'll make the potato pancakes and then everything will be done. So far. Now let's take the red or blue cabbage and put this into the pot. It has really marinated for 24 hours now and absorbed all the flavors. You can also see this by the fact that the white cut surfaces are no longer white, but have now taken on color. Now let that cook on low heat for about an hour to an hour and 10 minutes, so both finish at the same time. The duck and the red cabbage, the duck needs 1.5 hours and the red cabbage needs 1 hour and 10 minutes. Sometimes a bit longer, as long as it's soft and flavorful. Now we'll take the potatoes and start preparing the ribadaji. I'll use the finest grater for that. And grate them here. For that, we'll now take our mixture. Squeeze it really firmly with both hands over the sink or another bowl. You can already see how much water is coming out. As you can see, the potatoes are pretty dry. They're almost crumbling apart because I squeezed them out really, really well. Now I'll add this here. Very nice. Sides. Then I'll take a small onion. I'll peel it and now we'll grate it in on the same grater. It's a bit unusual to grate an onion on a grater, but that's how my grandma did it, so it must be right. Just grate it in there. Now we add 2 egg yolks. For that, we separate the eggs here into the bowl. Then we add a bit of nutmeg. Not too much, it's very intense in flavor. And now we stir the egg yolks right in. Once the egg is mixed in, the mixture won't brown as quickly. A raw grated potato sometimes has the tendency to turn brown very, very quickly. And you can avoid that. You can prepare it a little bit in advance. Now we'll put some plastic wrap over it and keep the whole thing cool. It's really important now. That's the plastic wrap. Don't stretch it over the bowl like you normally would, but place it directly on the product. That means cut yourself a piece here. Right here. And then you just press firmly on the foil here so that the foil lies directly on the potatoes. No oxygen reaches the potatoes so they can't turn brown. Now place this in a cool spot until the red cabbage and duck have each cooked for an hour. We'll fry the potato pancakes so all 3 dishes are ready together. We'll finish the sauce, then plate everything. Now the cabbage has cooked for an hour and 20 minutes. It's nicely colored, has a really even color, and is a deep dark red. The rest of the broth has boiled down to a syrupy consistency. Now we'll just take out the spices here, so we'll simply remove the bay leaf and the cinnamon stick. And a few of the juniper berries, if we can find them. Now we can turn the heat all the way down. Okay, now let's get the sauce for the duck ready and take the good piece out of the oven. I had the oven set to 160 degrees. Now I'm turning it up high to 200 degrees. Now we're giving the duck its final touch. Now we'll take down the duck. Let's put it here on the baking tray. Then right back in the oven so it stays hot. Now we'll add our juice. Here through a fine sieve. We can just go ahead now. There's still an incredible amount of flavor in here in the sauce. You can really see it. Now let's add a generous splash of red wine to the sauce again. And let it come to a boil again so all the flavors can be released from the carrots. And now we'll add this here as well. Now our sauce goes in. And if it doesn't go through the sieve right away, we just take a spoon and move it around a bit in the sieve like this. Now we're going to bring the whole thing to a boil again. We'll also try the red cabbage to see if it's good. Let's do it. So compared to red cabbage, from a can or a jar, this is so much finer. Because you can taste all these fine aromas from the different spices, and it tastes absolutely amazing. It's really worth making it yourself. And now let's heat up a pan for the potato pancakes. Neutral oil in the pan. Olive oil isn't suitable here, as it doesn't pair well with the Bavarian dish or the duck. We'll now make small pancakes. The mixture has marinated well. About this size. Don't make them too thick since the potato is still raw. Spread out the pancakes so they cook through evenly. Fry them on low heat until golden brown, then repeat and set the finished ones aside to keep warm. Now let's try our sauce here. Very good. Let's let it reduce just a little bit more, then the flavor will get a bit stronger. Add a pinch of salt and also add a little salt to the potato pancakes. Potatoes always need plenty of salt. You can see here with the pancakes that the potatoes are slowly starting to turn golden yellow around the edges. When that happens, flip them. They'll be done on one side. And add a little bit more oil after you flip them. Now almost all of our ingredients are ready. Now I'll fry the rest of the potato pancake mixture, and then I'll show you how to carve the duck. And then you can start plating. All the side dishes are ready. The potato pancakes are keeping warm in the oven. Let's carve the duck now. Careful, it's very hot. Now we'll cut the string up here. And we'll cut the other string as well. Cut it here on the side. And now, traditionally, you divide the duck into 4 parts. That means you make a cut here at the leg. Like this. That's actually pretty far down. And here along the bone. Then we've removed the first drumstick here. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Again, right here on the drumstick. Cut in all the way to the back, slice through, and then down to the bone. Those were the 2 drumsticks, and now we'll take the 2 breasts. Here in the middle, we have a backbone. We'll cut alongside it. And here it goes around at a slight angle. Now we can cut along the carcass here to remove our beautiful juicy duck breast. This is truly amazing. And be sure to waste as little meat as possible. Cut through the back once, like this. This is the first breast. And we do the same thing on the other side, again along the spine. That's a bit warm, everything. Now we put a bit of our chest here. And a drumstick too, for example, depending on your hunger. Some of our red cabbage on the side. Oops, now we still have our potato pancakes here. Fried to a golden yellow. Let's add 2 on the side as well. There. And now 1 more. A dollop of our duck juice. Just pour it over the meat. Wonderful. It's done. Enjoy your meal. You can also add the stuffing on top if you want. It's delicious. Just take out a few apples and a few onions like this and serve them with the duck. Enjoy your meal.